Hey, are you struggling with local SEO? You want to get more eyeballs to your website and not really sure how to do that. You're struggling with ranking on Google and you just need some help. Well, then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to share some practical advice, some practical tips, real world example on how to improve your local SEO game, not only from an SEO standpoint, also from a site structure standpoint. So a lot of practical advice in here. And this video arose because of a question by Sarah Crawford. She said that we're web developers who do brand design, copywriting, and development, the whole package. What I'm finding is that when you search locally for web developers, you get job ads choking the first two pages of Google, not service providers. So I might be thinking about our keywords incorrectly, that users don't search for web designers or web developers. Stuck. So I talked to her and she shared her website with me. So it's called Aligned Design. And we're going to kind of pick it apart and look at not only the aesthetics of it, but then also what's not working with the SEO. How can we improve the SEO and get more traffic to their website? First things first, like the color scheme and love the pictures, the photos. I've never seen such professional looking photos in my life. And these are all, like, I think this is Sarah right here. Here's Sarah, and here's the rest of her team. Like, these are not stock photos. Phenomenal photos, like the quality of them. Who's ever taking these photos, very, very good photographer. What I don't necessarily like is the first text that the visitor is going to read. We're here to help you build a results-focused website. I don't know what that means. What's a results-focused website? Launch a heart-filled, super tight brand. What does that mean? Capture the eyeballs of more leads and turn them into customers. I understand that, okay? But results focused, there's a lot of fluff in here. Banging brands and kick-ass websites for small businesses. I don't know what a banging brand is. Maybe I'm getting old. So this is an Australian company. They are in Hobart, Tasmania. So maybe people say banging over there. I don't know, but this doesn't speak to me. It doesn't speak my language. Now I looked at a bunch of different Australian websites, and I actually went to this Australian Web Industry Association, and I opened up every single website that they had there, and I pulled out the ones that I really liked. And I don't want to show them on video for possibly copyright purposes, but I will paste them here and show you. So the first is strong.digital. I really like their homepage. They don't have a photo of the team above the fold. They don't have that team photo. I do like your team photo up here, but they do a really good job on that hero text. They say, we build websites, craft brands, and do digital marketing stuff to help your business grow online, period. So we build websites, craft brands, and do digital marketing stuff to help your business grow online. That's phenomenal. Very clear, right to the point. Anybody can understand that, that's what they do. So that's what I would recommend, going to that website, kind of looking at what they have and not taking their hero text, but kind of applying that concept here, having something more clear here. I do hope that you're using Hotjar or Clarity. I didn't check the HTML for that, but obviously look at how people are interacting with your homepage. I think you want to amp this up a little bit. So look at that strong digital. And the other thing is, I love the cursive font, but I don't know if that's right for the homepage because it really makes me expend a lot of that extra brain power and stop and kind of figure out, okay, what's going on here on that strong.digital. What they say is juggle less, do more, and then they hit the pain points. So you talk about some pain points in here, but maybe you could bullet this out or something like that. And then at the in the middle, they have some examples of their portfolio of their work, and you do have that up here, but it's one click away. I want to see that on your homepage. I think that's really important. And then down below at the very end of the strong.digital site, they have the team, the actual photos of the team. Like, this is Nick, this is Sam, this is Anthony. I think you should do that too. But right now I got to click on meet the team. So there's a lot of different clicks I need to get to kind of take it all in. And I think you should probably take some pages out of the strong.digital site and apply it towards yours. The other site you could check out that I was drawn to was this designpluz.com.au. their hero image is out of this world. They have like a little graphic going, and their hero text is over the image, and it says brands that are loud, comma, are found. And then a little subtitle it says, or subheading, it says a premium web design and web development agency in Sydney, period. Awesome. And it's really actually similar to that first website I showed you. They don't have their team on the homepage, but go check it out. Very, very impressive site. I don't think you need to change your color schemes. I love your color schemes and all that. The other thing too is the work with us, the call to action here, that's a big commitment right there. Work with us. I'm not ready to work with you when I go to your website. That's a big ask when I click the work with us. I would probably think of something different. I don't know if you want to throw a freebie out there. You get a free 10-minute consultation. I don't know, but like this is a really big ask right here. That's like very far along in the dating relationship, and we're not quite there yet. I don't really know about you. So work with us, I don't think is appropriate for here. So those are the suggestions I have for the homepage. Now, let's go to SEMrush and let's look at what the organics are talking about. A lot of backlinks, and a lot of those backlinks are coming from websites you've already done, because then you put your website as a backlink in the bottom. That's cool. Great way to build those backlinks up. Your authority is 17. It's low, but it's better than nothing. That's pretty good. Your organic traffic, you don't have a lot that you're hitting here. Let's go to position 1 to 10. So you're ranking for 7 terms in position 1 to 10. That is not a lot of terms. Now you do have a blog, on-page SEO tips for 2022. Is your pop-up strategy scaring customers away? 5 steps to perform a website content audit. Our favorite quote, sharing knowledge builds your brand. Don't get sucked into a logo design. Okay, I see this a lot. A lot of companies out there will decide to, we have that blog about something, and they'll create articles, but who's reading these articles? I guess if you were like SEO Roundtable or Matt Diggity, or if you had 1 million visitors a month to your website, then you can just kind of blog about whatever, because people are going to be interested in what you're talking about. But when you don't have a lot of that organic traffic, just kind of blogging about, this is relevant stuff, but I don't think anyone's searching this. No one's searching for, is your pop-up strategy scaring customers away? Or I doubt you're going to have any search volume for pop-up strategy. Our favorite quote, that's not going to rank for anything. No one's searching for Align Design's favorite quote. Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals, that's great, but that's crazy competitive. So you're not going to rank for that to begin with. So a lot of just kind of like throwing stuff against the wall, I think, and seeing what sticks. And as you can see, not a lot is sticking, but that's okay. It's really easy to fix this. There are 3 ways to get traffic to a website from an organic standpoint. The first is targeting local. The second is targeting the world, not targeting local, but just targeting everybody. And the third way is to target local and also target the world. I think you should definitely be targeting local, because you're, number one, a local business. You're in Hobart, Tasmania, in the Australia area, and you are a local business. Even though you do things virtual and you can service anybody across the world, you at least should be hitting people around your home area, because that's just free traffic right there. Free customers, just ripe for the picking. So let's look at Google for a search for Sydney. So this is website design Sydney. Look at all the different businesses ranking in the area. So we're in Sydney right now. Red Ant Design, Small Business Web Designs, Jimmy Webb, Magic Dust. So these are all local web design companies, and they're all ranking on page 1 for web design Sydney. And this is actually, I'm geo searching from Sydney, not from where I live in America. Spark Interact, Sydney Web Design Company, top web designer Sydney. So this is like a roundup right here. Sydney Web Design Agency, Jimmy Webb, Web Design Sydney. You're nowhere to be found. And the reason, obviously, is because you're not targeting local. So if you don't target local, the only other option is to target the world, but then you're not competing just against those local people. It's so much easier to compete against local people than it is against the entire world. You've extremely niched down if you're targeting local. You can target the world too, but I think I would start at local. So when I go to your website, I don't see anything about Sydney, about Australia, about anything. The only thing I can find is down here that you're based in Hobart, Tasmania. Now I talked to you privately through Messenger, and you said that you're virtual. All your team is virtual, and that's why you don't have an address. When I click contact over here, there's no phone number, there's no address, there's no nothing, and that's putting you at an enormous disadvantage because you're not going to start ranking when people search for web design Hobart or web design Sydney or web design Melbourne or whatever, because you're not local. So the first thing that you would need is a Google Business Manager account. That's formerly Google My Business. Everyone here has that. Everyone here has Google My Business set up. That's why they're showing up in here. They have ratings they're capturing. They have reviews, and they're all set up to appear locally. Now let's look at how to improve your local ranking on Google. So let's just read what it says. When someone searches for a business or place near their location, they'll find local results across Google in places like Maps and Search. So here's your, here's your map pack, and here's Search. For example, you can probably find local results if you search for Italian restaurant from your mobile device. We'll try to show you the kinds of nearby restaurants that you'd like to visit. To improve your business's local ranking, use Google Business Profile to claim and update your business information. So by doing that, you're going to not only appear in the map pack up here, or it will help you at least, then you got to work your way up here. You got to rank for that. But then you're going to also, it's going to really help you rank for this. Because without that, you're going to be at a severe disadvantage compared to everybody else. Now, it's really important to follow the guidelines for representing your business on Google. There's a lot of rules that you have to abide by. One of them is you can't use P.O. boxes. So use a precise, accurate address and or service area to describe your business location. P.O. boxes or mailboxes located at the remote locations are not acceptable. A lot of people will do this. They get a P.O. box in all these different cities, and suddenly they're in every city in the state and every state in the country. And it's absolutely insane. Google they can recognize P.O. boxes. They don't want that. What they don't want is they don't want these virtual offices that nobody's ever in. They want people actually in there. Now, is Google going to check that you're actually in the office? Maybe you rent a suite in a high rise. Is Google actually going to walk the hallway and knock on your door and see if you're actually in there? Probably not. So take their guidelines with a pinch of salt. But obviously, I would not use a P.O. box. I wouldn't use your house. Google doesn't want that either. They want a business address. And there's ways to do that. Now, what I want to show you, this is the keyword manager in SEMrush. And I did a search for a bunch of different cities in Australia. And I tagged some main keywords that were competitive and some other keywords that were not competitive. And I want to show you this. This is really important. So we have 50 keywords here. I'm targeting Melbourne, Perth, I can't pronounce that, Adelaide maybe, Gold Coast, Tasmania, but sort of by volume right now. So web design Melbourne, 1,600 people, and it could be more, could be off by a factor 10. Search for this each month. Now it's pretty competitive, 61, but a lot of people are searching for web design Melbourne. Web design Perth, 1,600. Web design Adelaide, 1,300. Web design Sydney, 1,300. Web design Gold Coast, 880. That's a lot. Those are pretty competitive, all right? But look at this other stuff. Copywriter Melbourne, 22. That's a very easy thing to rank for, and the volume's 480. So we put in Copywriter Melbourne. Let's turn back on Mozbar. Search for this. All right, Copywriter Melbourne. First result, DA of 10. Look how easy it is to beat that. And that one's ranking above this copywriter job. So this is your Indeed.com or something like that. Freelance copywriters for hire. This is Upwork. Hardcore copywriting. This is your agency, DA of 8. DA of 3. If you offer copywriting services in Melbourne, it's crazy easy to rank organically. Now, you're going to have to get past the map pack and you're going to have to get past the ads, but you can rank organically for these terms. Super easy to do. Let's look at some more. Web designer Sydney. Okay, that's pretty competitive. WordPress web design Perth, 21. Now, I don't know if you guys do WordPress, so I'm going to skip that one. Branding Perth. So let's search for that right now. So Google knows we're talking about Australia because it's pulling up Perth right there. Pretty far away from Sydney. Wow, that's all the way across the country. All right, what do we got? 6, DA of 6, DA of 19, DA of 20, DA of 6. Very easy to rank for these terms. Let's look at one more. Brand photography, Sydney. There we go. Keyword difficulty of 6. Look at this. Brand photography, Sydney. So people that want to get their brands photographed. Maybe they're selling products on Amazon or eBay and they want cool brand photographs, or they want photographs of their business or whatnot. I don't know. Look at this. DA of 7, DA of 12, DA of 3, 10, 7, 7. Like, look at your photos. You guys can take good photos, so I'm sure you can take good brand photos too. And you do branding. I mean, you're just missing out on all this just phenomenal traffic here. And what was the volume? 170. Okay, so how do we rank for these things? How do we rank for all these different terms? Tons of volume. You could 1,000x the traffic that you're getting each month. How could we do that? It starts with a site structure. So this is your homepage. This is what I would recommend doing with your homepage. On your homepage, you're going to have, probably at the bottom, you could have your different offices, so to speak. And you can start with one office. And so you're going to have to get an office. Now, whether people actually work in the office or not, I don't know. That's on you. But you're going to need an office. It can't be a P.O. box. You're going to need a phone number. You're going to need hours and stuff like that. So let's pick Sydney as an example. So you'll have an office in Sydney. It will actually be in the heart of Sydney or somewhere really close to Sydney. And on your homepage, there'll be a link to, Sydney office, and you click on it. And it's going to have an article all about web design in Sydney. And the reason I picked web design Sydney, this is the slug right here, is because, let's go to Sydney, web design Sydney. 1,300 volume, 63 keyword difficulty. You're probably not going to rank for this right off the bat, but this is the goal. We're hoping to eventually rank for this. When you make your web page for your office in Sydney, and it's not going to be about your office in Sydney, but it's going to be a blog post about web design in Sydney. And you're going to talk about how web design works. You're going to talk about Sydney specific things. And I haven't seen anybody do this yet, you're going to have clients that you've worked with in Sydney, and they're going to be on that page, or you're going to link to them on that page. Hey, we worked with Jim Bob in Sydney. His company, Flowers R Us. He's located in Sydney. Here's what we did for him, all this stuff. You're not keyword stuffing, but you're talking about stuff that's relevant to Sydney. Stuff you did in Sydney, stuff that's specific to Sydney, all that kind of stuff. But you're also talking about web design in general. So you could go to Phrase and do like a search on on web design, or how to do web design, or tips and tricks for web design, or what web design entails, and kind of research that and pull that in and kind of generate this really authoritative article that would be maybe 2,000 or 3,000 words. And it's going to be broken up really well because you're going to say, one of the things we do is we do e-commerce. All right, one of the other things we do is brand photography. Another thing we do is SEO copywriting. Another thing we do is brand strategy. Now, why do we have these as links inside of this Web Design Sydney article? Because when you look in here, there's brand photography Sydney, 170 volume, keyword difficulty of 6. E-commerce agency Sydney, 210 volume, keyword difficulty of 26. So these are the very easy terms to rank for. And when you link these inside of here, assuming you have that Sydney office and you're writing the article correctly from an SEO standpoint, you'll probably fairly soon start ranking for these terms, e-commerce agency Sydney. So here's the slug, and then I don't know what you'd call it, but it'd be something relevant to this. And you talk all about an e-commerce agency Sydney. There's a website, let me see if I can paste it in here. They do a decent job of this. So www.webomaze.com.au. If you go there, you can look at some of this stuff. They have SEO Sydney, SEO Perth, SEO Brisbane. And so that would be an example of how you could write one of these articles, not for SEO, but for e-commerce. You could structure it kind of like that, but you're going to have stuff specific to Sydney. You could also have clients that you've worked with from an e-commerce standpoint in Sydney. So you're really selling up the Sydney words, and you're going to start ranking for this if you write your article correctly. Same thing with this, brand photography. You write that article there, and you start ranking for this. So again, your homepage is going to have a link at the bottom called like Sydney office or something like that. You click on that and it's going to talk all about web design in Sydney. And then inside that article, you're going to talk about e-commerce. And there's going to be a link in that e-commerce H2 or whatnot to your e-commerce agency Sydney article. And you're going to talk all about that. And on each of these pages, on this page, you're going to have your Sydney address. You're going to have your office address, your phone number, all that good stuff, all in Sydney. Same thing with this. Same office, same phone number, same hours in the footer in Sydney. Do the same thing for this. So you have another H2 in here. You talk about brand photography. Another element of website design is you're going to need good brand photos. And that involves brand photography. And then you'll link to this brand photography article that you've written. And then the other thing you want to do, so this is going to take care of the local ranking. This is going to take care of the local ranking. But the other thing you want to do is you want to rank globally. You don't just want to rank locally because you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you just are targeting local. So how can you target globally with this? Well, that's where your blog comes in. On that blog, you're going to write various articles that have actual search volume and that are not extremely difficult to rank for. I think what is brand strategy might be kind of difficult to rank for, but I was just trying to come up with relevant things for this. What is brand photography? So what you would do in your blog is you would write an article about what is brand photography. And it could be like a 2,000 word article. You're going to link to that article from your brand strategy Sydney page. All right, so this page right here, what is brand photography, is not going to talk anything at all about Sydney. All right, it's going to be targeted to the entire world. But this page here is going to link to that page and pass some of that link juice up to what is brand photography. And the blog is obviously going to link to what is brand photography. What is brand strategy? So this brand strategy Sydney is then also going to link up to this what is brand strategy page that has nothing to do with Sydney whatsoever. Now, here's another kind of article we can write on the blog. How to develop a brand strategy. So maybe you could even have a category in here in the blog section called brand strategies or something like that, or branding or something. You could figure that out. Or you could just have a list of different articles and have a search feature or something like that. But how to develop a brand strategy. So brand strategy Sydney is going to link to this article that you've written that has nothing to do with Australia at all. It's just targeting the whole world. And this is not too hard of an article to rank for. And you could have like this, what is a brand strategy, link to the how to develop a brand strategy. So you're kind of building your different content hubs, you're developing your interlinking and stuff like that. And if you take this approach, in my opinion, if you approach your website from this perspective, in my opinion, you'll, from where you are right now, you'll 1000x your traffic. And if you're getting 26 organic search traffic, I could see you getting 26,000 organic search traffic a month once you've built this out for different cities. Now, again, you'd need a physical address in each one of these cities. I'd start with one and build it out that way. The last thing you can do is if you want to use phrase to help write some of these articles. I don't know, I wouldn't recommend writing these articles with phrase for the local stuff, but for the global stuff, you could probably try using phrase. So this is how to develop a brand strategy. Let's see if we can just bang out an article really quickly on this. I want to go to the intro generator, how to develop a brand strategy. Awesome. Okay. A brand strategy is a plan for how you will position yourself as a leader in your industry. It helps you decide who you are and what you do and why you should matter. In order to create this brand strategy, you first need to understand who you are, what makes you unique, and why you should be leading in your industry, et cetera, et cetera. And this article will go over how to develop a brand identity, brand positioning, and brand messaging. Okay, great. You could generate as much as you want. You could do all this by hand, but we're just trying to bang something out with AI. Just have a little bit of fun right now. There's a lot of lot of the SERP's built out for this, so you could also go into there and do your research and stuff like that. But we're just going to purely use the AI here just for fun. Defining your brand differentiates you from your competitors. Creating a unique selling proposition, building your brand recognition, create a logo, build a comprehensive marketing campaign, creating a brand story, how to choose a name, what do people think of you, why is branding important, building a positive reputation, what is brand equity, how much value does your brand have. I mean, that's great. I mean, this probably isn't the order I would want to put them in, but that's perfectly good for this this kind of video that we're doing right now. Let's see what the AI can now write about each of these different from scratch. Okay. Awesome. Branding is one of the most important aspects of running a successful business. Let me pause reading while we put in the next one. To create a strong brand identity, you must define who you are and what sets you apart from others. Define your brand by answering these questions. What does your company stand for? Who is your customer? How do you communicate with your customers? Once you define your brand, you can begin developing a unique message that resonates with your customers. Think about what your customers care about. I mean, this is great. I'm not going to read the whole thing. That's great. Look at that. Your USP is the main reason why someone would choose to buy from you over another company. It's the thing that sets you apart from other businesses and gives you an edge over the competition. To create a unique selling proposition, think about who your ideal customer is and what benefits he or she might receive if they bought from you, etc., etc. By creating a strong USP, you'll give yourself a competitive advantage over your competitors. This is phenomenal. I'm really impressed with the quantity and the quality of the output. Wow, 345 words. Your logo is one of the most important parts of your business. It's the first thing people see every day. It helps set the tone for everything else that happens within your company. To create a memorable logo, you'll need to focus on three main aspects: simplicity, consistency, and memorability. Simplicity means your logo shouldn't contain too many elements. Man, that's freaking amazing. What the heck? Oh my goodness. It just keeps getting, the output just keeps getting longer with each one we do. This is like 623 words, but it looks like it kind of went off the rails at the end, which is perfectly okay. We'll just cut that off. Sometimes the AI does that. Wow, that's crazy. So let's delete that part, see what we get. So this is build a comprehensive marketing campaign, creating a brand story. To create a comprehensive brand strategy, you'll need to consider several different aspects of your business. For example, you'll need to decide whether to focus primarily on online or offline. Online includes blah, 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 or offline includes and online includes. For example, you could advertise on Facebook, run a Twitter campaign. That's phenomenal. How to choose a name. Before you decide on a name, consider these questions. What does your business stand for? Is it easy to remember? Does it sound professional? Jeez. All right, we're just knocking them out. Why is branding important? Building a positive reputation. Your reputation is everything. It's the first thing that potential customers will notice about your business. And if they don't like what they see, they might just move on to something or someone else. In order to build a positive reputation, you need to put yourself out there, whether it's through social media, press releases, or other forms of communication. This is great. All right, this is a brand equity. It's a value that a company has based on its reputation and perceived quality. Man, there are two ways to measure brand equity: qualitative and quantitative. So then it says qualitative includes methods are typically used to gain insights into customers' perceptions of brands. These methods allow companies to learn about what consumers think about their products. Quantitative is this. Wow. Then it talks about the advertising method. Now let's do a conclusion. Let's do the advanced. Let's see what we get here. Sometimes the conclusion does not work well when you do advanced, but we'll give it a shot. You don't need a conclusion also for all your articles. That's a big misconception, but sometimes it makes it look a little bit more professional. In conclusion, developing a brand strategy is a process that takes time and effort. However, it doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, it's actually quite simple. It talks about these 3 steps: vision statement, blah, blah, blah. Do one more generation. Then at the end it says, as you can see, branding is a lot easier than you may have thought, so get out there and start building your brand today. Okay, I like this better, this second generation, because this is kind of like gave us 3 more steps. And I don't really like that. I want just a nice summary. In conclusion, branding is a huge part of any company's success. It's the reason why Coke has become synonymous with soda, Starbucks with coffee, and Nike with sports gear. But while brands like these have managed to build their reputations over decades, there are plenty of companies who haven't had nearly as much luck. In fact, many of the biggest brands in the world were born from nothing more than a single idea, and they've managed to turn that idea into a billion-dollar empire. So whether you want to create a brand that stands out from the crowd or you want to launch a new product line, it says here are a few tips to help you along the way. Follow our advice in this article to help you along the way. And actually, I'll take this. As you can see, branding is a lot easier than you may have thought. So get out there, start building your brand today. Okay, awesome. I like that. Look at the word count, 2,800 words. Let's do our meta description generator. So there's our meta, and let's spice up the title, bump that up to creativity 3. Sometimes for the title spicer, you want to do that. Let's see what we get. I like that. Let's do that. How to develop a brand strategy plus steps to create a successful brand. Awesome. The article is now done. It's well written. It sounds good. It's 2,800 words. We did this on video. It took about 10 minutes live. Obviously spend more time if this is more value to you, but just shows you what you can do. And this would not be for your local article. This would be for one of your global articles. You can really just knock out 15 articles in a day, no problem. Just start pumping that stuff out. Sarah, I hope this was useful. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below or just send me a DM. I'll also send you a list of those keywords. Anyone else, if you have a question about this or anything else relating to content generation, SEO, ranking, or whatever, just post them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. You could also join the Phrase Insider group. It's completely free. Scroll down till you find this post here and post your questions in here, and I will, if I can, make a video for you. As always, good luck with your content generation, and until next time, goodbye.